Okay, so now that I have my working patch cord, um, it's time to do the wall jack. Okay, so we'll do the patch panel and connect it to the wall jack. So let's see. So that requires the 110 panel. Right, this is 110 panel, 110 wall jack, 110 punch down tool. All right. So let's see. Let's just grab a piece of wire here. Another piece of Cat 5. This one's got some gnarly ends on it, so I'm gonna trim that off and start fresh. Just to use a regular pair of scissors will work just fine. Just make sure you get it all the way up in the notch so you get the most force on that, because it is a little tricky to cut wire with household scissors, but it can be done. And use your cable strippers. Take off an inch or so. There we go. Remove that fiber. And I want to do this one as well. Get that taken off. Get that little piece of nylon fiber off there so it's out of my way. Alright, so now with this one, you don't even really have to untwist it, as long as you can get them far enough apart that they go over the center post. Alright, so if you look on here, there is a wiring diagram, and it shows the B standard and the A standard. Okay, so the A standard's over here, and the B standard's over here. And there's 6 connections on here, but they only give me 2 diagrams. And you really only need 1 for the 6. So you just kind of follow the order on each one of these. Normally, so this is a 12-port patch panel. You could put up to 12 wires in here. So normally, what you'll do is you'll come in from the side like this. You'll run all of your wires in from one side and then terminate them up. So, but you want your wires to start from the center. So what I'm after is I want the end of the insulation to be kind of in the center of one of these connectors instead of off to the side here and having really long bare wires this way and really short ones here. I want to get it kind of in the center to minimize the length of the wires that get unwrapped. And the reason for that is that twisting's there. The twisted pair is twisted for a reason. It's to minimize crosstalk, minimize outside interference. So you want to minimize the amount of untwisting that you do. So, all right. So now I'm working a little bit upside down here, but that's okay. So it looks like the first pair is the brown, then the green, then the orange, then the blue. So I just want to kind of get my wire arranged in such a way that I have brown, orange, or brown, green, orange, then blue. So there's my brown, get my orange one in place, then green, then blue. So if you get those pairs roughly in order, so they behave themselves. And then you want the solid color, it'd be on my right, and then on the left is the striped one. So solid brown, then brown white. Okay, and orange. So I'm going to do the, oops, I got green and orange reversed here, didn't I? That's all right. Okay, so I'll do green and orange first because they're my 2 middle pairs. And I want to unwrap these in such a way that the solid color is on my right. So it looks like if I go that way, I can make a little gap in there with my finger. You could use the point of a pencil or something to separate that. But see, that's really all I need is I need that little bitty opening there, and then I can stick that in there. So I'll do the same for the orange, and I'll just open them all up before I start terminating this. And just make a little little gap in the twisted pair so I can put them where they go. Alright, so green, we'll do the green first. It's okay, this one came all the way untwisted and that's okay, but like I said, it's just not necessary to undo it all. So I've got the solid on the right, and on the orange one I need to put the solid on the right, and the white one on the left. Okay, so there I've got my two center ones in place. If you pull them down with a little bit of force, they'll kind of stay in place. It should just kind of hold there. And then, let's see. Looks like blue. I opened the wrong turn there, so I need to unwrap that a little bit more, I think, to get my blue to behave. There we go. And I might do the same for the brown since I'm going further with those two guys. All right. Stick that back on there. So green is in place. Orange is in place. Come on, brown. It'll be difficult. Like so. And then finally the blue one. Come on, I know you can do this, blue. There we go. We're real close now. One of the orange guys jumped out, but get you back in place. All right, so once everybody's in place like that, then it's real easy to just go in and terminate them all with the 110 tool. Make sure there's one piece that sticks up a little taller than the other side, and that's the cutting edge on it. You want to make sure that you have the cutting edge on the side that hangs off here. You want to cut this extra wire off. If you cut the inside, then you're cutting the wire that's coming into the electrical connection, and that's no good. So, all right, so I'm putting the cutting edge on the side that I want it, and then it's spring loaded. It takes a little force, but you just push it real hard. It should pop when it's in place. There it goes. All right. That just pushes it all the way down into the connector. There we go. Takes a little bit of strength here. It's something that seems to be less and less with me as the years go on. There we go. There. All right. You visually inspect it. You look at it to see if the wire is indeed down in there. And it looks like maybe they're all there. No, that orange one looks like it might need another little help. So that's the nice thing about this type of connector is if in doubt, you can go over it again. Sometimes the wires look like they're down in there and they go up and over the connector. They didn't actually go down into it, so that's why I like to take a look and make sure that it's pushed really pushed down in there all the way. So looks like that one's in place. And then so this would be on the wall somewhere or in a closet, in an equipment closet. So like you'd have your switch here and you'd run patch cords to this, and then these other wires would be inside the wall somewhere going out to the different work places, wherever you have the computers or devices that you want to run wires to. Okay, So this is in the wall, and then this comes out of the wall through a wall jack that gets mounted here, and then there's be like a wall plate that goes over the top of this. Okay, so this gets mounted in a box. But, all right, so the same process goes here. You just repeat it. This one's a little trickier because it's smaller, so you have to be careful to hold it. If you do a lot of these, they make usually the manufacturer of the wall jack also has a deal that will hold it. Or you could put like a pair of vice grips or something on there to gently hold it and keep it from flopping around. But it can be done. You can just do it with your fingers and hold it steady if you're careful. So. All right, so on this one, same thing. We followed the B standard on this one, so I need to match the B standard on this. So this little deal, if you look at it, it's marked B on the bottom. So I need to follow the bottom color pattern on this. So on this side, I've got brown and green for the B. So I'll do the brown and green on this side, and we'll do the orange and blue on the other side. So need to get brown and green ready. Blue and orange goes over on that side. And again, you want to kind of put it so this insulation is kind of the tail end of this thing and come in through the middle with that. So it looks like the striped color is on the right in this case, and the solid color is on the left as I look at their diagram. So I want to make sure the brown and white is on the right facing me. Go like that. Get that into place. Sometimes it takes a little finagling. You kind of measure your distances out the way you want them to be, and like I said, it can come back out and you push it back in. So the green one, again, the white, and then the solid color. So put that in, put that one in. If I were to cut this a little longer, then it wouldn't untwist completely on me, and it might actually be a little easier to do. All right, so I have this side is in place, so I'm going to go ahead and terminate that now. I'll just go ahead and, so I don't lose it. Put the tool on there and give it a punch. Seems like it doesn't always want to snap like it's supposed to. But I think it, just so long as you push it hard enough that it goes down in there and gets seated, it'll work. And it might help too if I stand up and get more leverage on it. Yeah, but it is easier to bear down on it if I'm standing. There we go. All right, so that looks like that side is done. It looks like all of those are in place where they need to go. So now I just need to do orange and blue. So orange is the farthest away, so I'll get that one lined up where I want it. The white orange goes all the way on the end, it looks like, by my diagram. Put that in place. And the solid orange. And then the white blue, and then the solid blue. So I think it might be easier just to untwist it. White, blue, solid blue, like so. And then my termination tool. Again, I'm watching the blade side, making sure that it's going to cut the side on the outside. Okay, keep in mind also that these tools that I'm using, they're inexpensive. These are really consumer grade tools. If you were a professional, you'd want to spend quite a bit more than $10 for a tool. I think we've spent $50 or $60 for these if you're going to do a lot. So this is really just for a beginner to do a few at home. If you just need to do a few connections, this tool is perfectly fine. But yeah, I'm struggling to make it work just because it takes a lot of pressure, but it does the job. It actually works, and you could spend a lot more money on this. All of the tools and stuff that I found today can be bought on Amazon for less than $50, and I'll put links to all of the stuff that I bought today in the description, and so anybody who sees this can buy this and do this equipment. So the last thing to do is to do a test. So we'll hook up, looks like I'm gonna either need to make another cable or go find another cable to do the testing, but I've got this one, and this one I know is good. Give me a second. I'm gonna pause the video, and I'm gonna go find another video cable that I know is good, and then we can test this whole setup and see if it works.